Thank everyone for coming out to our council meeting tonight. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mrs. Russell? Present. Mr. Peters?
Here.
Mr. Robinson?
Here.
Mr. Hayes?
Present.
Mr. Hitt?
Here.
Mrs. Blazer? Mr. Smith?
Here. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes from our last meeting? All right, all in favor of accepting those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. Minutes passed. Communications and announcements, we do not have any. No public hearings this evening. Audience concerns. Yes.
When is the public hearing?
Public hearing is going to be held on September 17th, and that is for 15920 Galley Vacation. Okay. On to our audience concerns. We'll start with Nick Adkins. Step to the podium, please, and state your name and address.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do I take them out?
Yes.
Well, my name is Nick Adkins, and I live at 76 Arlington. All right. Well, I want to first start by thanking everyone for the opportunity to address council. Like I said, I am Nick Adkins. I'm running for Madison County Prosecutor. I think I know most everyone here, or met everyone here at some point. And I hope that it's not a secret, at least I don't think it is, that I'm running for prosecutor. I've really tried to do this the right way. I have. By learning the ins and outs of the position and developing the appropriate relationships and really learning the complexities of the office long before Steve Cronin announced that he was retiring. I've been working in this community, trying to better this community for most of my life at this point. I want to give you a little bit about my history. I went to Madison High School, and after graduating, I went on to college at Irvine. I studied political science and legal studies, and then I went to law school at Capital University and got my Juris Doctorate. And then I came back here to London, opened up a small practice, and worked here in the community for a few years. And then I was hired on to work at the prosecutor's office as an assistant prosecutor in 2013. I know that, or I expect that the question I'd be asked tonight, the question I'm always asked is, why do you want to be a prosecutor? I get that a lot. And for me, this is actually something that's pretty simple. This is something I feel. I care deeply about this community. I care deeply about the people that live here. And being a prosecutor is about working closely with your local law enforcement to really protect the community. A prosecutor, they help people, they work in the courtroom to hold people accountable and prosecute people that have committed offenses here in our community. And they work closely with governmental agencies and departments to advise them with legal advice. And I have the skill set and desire to effectively do all three. And actually, I've been doing that. I've been doing that over the last 7 years as our chief assistant here in the county. Our current prosecutor, Steve Cronin, I like to tell the story. He's got a policy in the office, and he says, we wear the white hats. He says it over and over. So what does that mean? It means that ethics come first. And I really take that charge seriously, both in and out of the office. I think a prosecutor should do the right thing for the right reason. And I've dedicated a lot of time, both in and out of the office, to try to make this community a better place to live. I've dedicated time. Over the last decade, I've been a volunteer at the library and have volunteered for 8 years, working with the Ribbon Jazz Fest. And I'm a Rotary member here in town and work closely with the Chamber of Commerce and Arts Council. I've worked closely with the community, and because of that, I've developed those relationships I was referring to earlier. And that would allow me to really effectively do this job. I live here in London with my wife, Bryn. She's a graduate of London High School, and we have 2 young boys, Remington and Rhodes, and my oldest son is 2 years old, a little guy. He imitates everything I do. Follows me around, it's kind of my mini-me, and I have to recognize that my behavior is model, and that's both the good and the bad. So I strive, to show him thankfulness and gratitude, kindness, justice, and compassion. I try to, teach him just appropriate values. My job as dad is really more than just teaching him. It's to show him conservative values, to show him what it means to have integrity, to show him what a privilege it is to be an advocate for others, to be a representative in the community like each of you. I believe that morality, it starts in the heart, it starts at home, it starts by raising your kids to have and be just and compassionate. It continues by electing people in the public office that believe and feel the same way that you do, that are going to be your leaders in your community. I'm prepared to do the job of being prosecutor on day one. We don't adhere to what I'll call a compartmentalized approach within our office. I have my hands in a lot of different projects, and I work in the civil division, work closely with our county commissioners, our township trustees, and different boards and departments, whether it's the health department, the board of elections, or BD, and I work closely with them on a daily basis. Probably the best arm for handling the felonies here in the county. I've been doing that consistently over the last 7 years. I just want to touch on that briefly and my experience there because it's an interesting yet difficult position. But over the last, I've had a number of jury trials. A lot of the cases arising out of London, including a murder trial. And over my last 12 consecutive trials, I've had 12 consecutive convictions from the jury. I've worked for a decade to develop a rapport with our local law enforcement officers. I think that's important. I have working relationships with all of our officers here in the county, and that's a significant asset that I would bring to the position, the relationships that I already have. And so I would encourage you to talk to your local officers, to talk to LPD and the chief and the officers there, and ask them about their relationship with the prosecutor's office now. Ask them about their relationship with me. Those relationships are built on trust that goes both ways, and that trust is translated into some endorsements that I want to share with you. So first off, I am endorsed by our current county prosecutor, Stephen Cronin. He's really been my mentor. I'm also endorsed by our county sheriff, John Sweeney, and retired sheriff Jim Saban and Steve Salzman. A couple other endorsements as well. The Madison County Republican Party has endorsed me, Congressman Steve Stivers and State Senator Bobby Hackett. I'm thankful for those endorsements. I'm truly thankful for that. But more importantly, I appreciate the trust that they placed in me, the trust that they attached to themselves with the username. I hope that I can earn your trust. I hope that I can earn your support as we move towards the election, as we move towards November 3rd, because it would be a privilege and honor to be a prosecutor and to work every day to protect our family and friends. So with that, I just want to say thank you for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
I'd just like to say I do, appreciate the leadership that you show in the county. I do, take a look at the papers, and I'll see you at different functions, not necessarily just at the courthouse, but be at the schools with the kids, pancake breakfast, and just all types of things. And I think it's really good to see when someone in your position can still be out there and be one-on-one with the community. Just appreciate that.
I'm fully invested in Madison County.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Next, we have Rex Castle. Hey, Rex.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please state your name and your address.
Okay, Rex Castle, 4477 Belvedere Park, Columbus, Ohio. I know that I'm not a resident of London, So, seen and active council member when the ordinance to relieve the half percentage tax was passed back in 2013. So I'm here to speak about ordinance 158-20. Not sure about anything about in here on the numbers or anything, but I know that that was appreciated by the percentage of citizens in London that work in municipalities that have higher income tax rates. The vote showed, I know that the time before, when we were able to pass it in May of 2013 in November, when we tried to run it, it failed 45 to 55. And in May, after council approved to reduce it by 0.5%, it passed by 64. Quite a change in just one election year. I just hear, I don't know if we were on council at the time. I think Pat was probably the only one. If anybody had any questions, I was here to help assist or answer any of those questions. I know that it was very controversial when it was initially brought up and satisfied some people to involve in that credit. Any questions? If not, my only advice is make sure that you're generating enough revenue so it's sustaining for a period of time. Because I'm fearful it might be detrimental to you to try to pass another levy if it's not. Okay? Thanks. Glad to see everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.
Take it easy.
All right. On to our committee reports.
No question.
We'll start with Mrs. Russell.
Okay, I attended the Finance Committee, and I also attended the Public Service, speak on the Public Service. And at the Finance Committee, as you'll see on our agenda, most of the things that we went over, finance will be on the agenda, there'll be legislation to speak for that. But there was just a couple of things that were there that I wanted to bring out. One of the fact is that the auditor's office, they're starting to look into upgrading their software. So now they've scheduling some vendors to come in and do some presentations to get a cost as to the estimate as to what it would cost them to upgrade their software. And when it comes to software, it's very, very crucial that you keep it updated. Because if not, then you'll run into the fact that your software will not be maintained. And so to avoid glitches, it's better to be ahead of the game than behind the game. You always look, especially in our auditor's office, so any government office. So right now, Kenna and her staff are, I think they had a meeting with somebody on Friday. They will stay with the same system. It did say that they wouldn't stay with the same system that they wanted, it would just be an upgrade. So we're going to start checking on that. And one other thing, the stormwater utility bill's going to be, it all has to do with the Y down here. I think I want to explain a little bit about the Y because it was really interesting in a reading. It seems to be that Y, everything runs into it, from the north, east, south, and west, so it all runs into there. That's why it's such a big issue. And the drainage goes from there all the way over to Center Street, correct, Bill? Bill, all the way over to Center Street?
But actually, it ends up down at the sewer plant on 56.
At the sewer plant on 56, so that is very crucial. So what he's going to do, he's going to continue to lay some pipe there. He's got a great $200,000 grant from OPWC, and then he's going to take out of the stormwater utility fund another $200,000, so it'll be a cost of $400,000, so he can proceed to get that cleared up so that the water can flow better. It's not 100%, but it is a lot better than what it was used to be in the past. Okay, let me see, we got one more thing. Yeah, there's another thing that's interesting that is in legislation too, the CARES money, the CARES Act funding. Pat told us that the county got a little over $1 million, and that 50% went to the county and 50% went to the cities, the townships, the municipalities, all those. That was divvied up, and London got 9.2%. And I just thought that was very interesting that, some cities have maybe 100 people in them, and they may get a pretty nice portion of it. But Pat, you didn't send us that, did you? Did you
No,
send us that?
I'll speak on
Are
that.
you going to speak on
I'm
that?
gonna speak on it a little bit. and then-
Okay, yeah, would you please touch on that?
Yeah.
Okay, and let me see if there's anything else that we need to, that's not in legislation. No, I believe that's it. Everything else is in legislation.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Ms. Russell.
Well, the next meeting, finance meeting is going to be September the 14th instead of the 7th. It'll be the 14th instead of the 7th at 6 o'clock here.
Okay. Mr. Peters.
I,
All right, Mr. Robinson.
I attended the public service meeting. We have both Tammy and Bill there, the street department. They've worked on City Hall. They repaired the storm line on First and South Madison. They've been working on catch basins. They knocked down the building at Park Avenue. They painted the parking lots down at the pool. They've done some maintenance on some of their vehicles, sweeping around town, taking a few trees down. They fixed the lights around town. They moved Brandon to street worker 2, so congratulations on that. On the park and rec side, the pool was closed. We're going through final numbers of the cost and the revenue that came through. They're painting all the buildings down there. They're going to repair this concession stand. They're looking into the splash pad building where all the pumps are. It's overheating and it's shutting down. So they're looking into buying like dehumidifiers to eliminate some of that overheating so the pumps work correctly. They're doing an outdoor grass volleyball league, which will be right out in front of the school buildings. So Bill has also been down there rolling the grass down there to make sure that we have flat playing grounds. They'll start putting up the courts on the 18th. They've already started playing for basketball. They're going to have limited seating, and depending on the games, they're going to try to split them up so we can get as many people in as possible, but keep it safe. But they're also looking into streaming games, so there may be some purchasing of cameras so we can stream grandparents, parents, everyone can watch that. They did have a new hire. Her name's Billy Gore. She just moved back here from Florida, and I guess she's hit the ground running. She has past experience in Florida, working for pools and parks and all that. So Tammy's pretty happy about that hiring. That's about all we got for that. The next public service meeting will be September 9th at 1 p.m. It'll be in here.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Hayes.
Yes, our safety meeting was not able to have, one of my committee members was on vacation, and the other committee member had a death in the family, but I do have some notes I'd like to read from the police department. Officer Zach Livers has completed his field training and has been assigned a solo patrol SWAT. Officer Frank White was assigned to investigations as a detective with Madison County Major Crimes Task Force. They purchased a new laser speed measuring device that was put in service to replace a very old unit that was repaired last year. It's put functioning again this year. We'll move on down to stats. Have an increase in the amount of downloads continues on their police app. 2,862 current users. Calls for service are down from last year by 13% currently. This, of course, with the COVID response, accounts for mainly drops in many categories. Incident reports have dropped 25% last year due to the quarantine cutoff and restricted business. Notable and unusual incidents. July 12th, 20, an officer contracted severe poison ivy after assisting on apprehension of a suspect on Interstate 70 at the Brushy area. The officer received medical treatment and loss of time for 3 days. 7/20/20, a stabbing incident at Intelligrated resulted in the arrest of Rodney D. Baker, 36, Springfield, for attempted murder. 7/29/20, Justin Curtis was located and arrested by U.S. Marshals in Columbus. He was wanted for a felonious assault reference stabbing incident in London that took place July the 6th. 7/30/20, an officer was exposed to fentanyl after a prisoner being transported to jail tried to hide a small amount of the drug in the cruiser, and the bag broke, spilling the contents on the prisoner and the cruiser seat. No injuries resulted to the officer, however, several items of clothing were lost due to contamination procedures. The reason I brought those things up, thank God the police department's here. We had an attempted murder, stabbing incident. We had another felonious assault. Have a prisoner that's carrying fentanyl on him. Fentanyl can kill you just like that. So I'm just very thankful we have a good police department and everything's good. And I think we're right back up to where we should be with the new officer. All officers' slots are filled.
All right, that's good to hear. Thank you. Mr. Day.
As Mr. Day said, there was no safety committee meeting, but the fire chief did present or provide a report, so I'll go through that. They continue to have departmental EMS training resumed for 12D and capital lab review. Their new hire orientation continues. The departmental fire training continues that had reviewed boat operations. They participated in several CPR classes. They participated in several COVID webinars. They participated in birthday and returning soldier parade. Participated in the past Central Township Captain's passing and his funeral. Was it Richard Sparks? Richard Sparks. They attended multiple Zoom meetings and provided car installations of several car seats. The next Safety Service Committee meeting is September 8th at 6 p.m. in this room.
All right, thank you. Mr. Smith.
So I didn't attend a committee meeting, but we did have some great news that, like in the administration, Mr. Cromer, Steve Stivers, in his office, and what they did. So what we were running into was we needed a machine to begin to test our freshwater plant for the aeration. So we were waiting on that, waiting. So everybody got involved, everybody made phone calls, and so we got it. It took us about 3 weeks, but nothing really changed. I really credit the phone call. The individual there that we were dealing with the federal EPA, he sent a letter all the way to Washington, telling that we're in need of this machine. I had checked with another entity because I knew that we were looking at time delay struggles, and they sent me an estimate. It was $33,000. So now to be fair, it would test for reverse osmosis also, but I'm like, let's just work on a free aeration test with federal EPA and see how that goes first. But it's already up and running, and we're hoping to have results. I think we've got about 2 more weeks, I think, and we'll start getting good test results. There's a bacteria that we need to wait for it to mature, and we'll get some good results back from that. The sanitation trucks right now are on case for September 4th, so we're going to start calling them to pick it up. So September 4th was good, we need them sooner.
Yeah. The first one, September 4th, they're hoping the second one, September 6th. So they're staggered just a few days, but you're right.
Yeah, so we need them back. So they've already had issues. I think I mentioned already in the last council meeting. They've already had 2 trucks go down and they've got one repaired. So As every week goes by, you know, we just keep putting money in those trucks, so. But, next, BPU meeting, will be the 27th, 6:30.
All right. Thank you very much. On to city official reports.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I want to take a minute and thank Jeff Matheson and Madison Lawn Care. You probably noticed that some of the businesses and building owners downtown were not maintaining their sidewalks. It was really starting to look bad. We were getting a lot of calls about it. Madison Lawn Care came out and they cleaned and cleared all the sidewalks from all the weeds and grass that was down there. They did this on their own. I assumed that there was a company that paid him to do it, but he just decided that he wanted to help make downtown and let it look nicer. He went out and they did it on their own. So appreciate him for that. And then I actually contacted him today to get a quote. As you guys know, we're going to do the outdoor volleyball league in the grass lot out there on First Street between School Street and Walnut. And I wanted to get a quote to see if he could come out and treat it. So they got a machine that they kind of ride on, and instead of us trying to put down granules, just put the spray on it and help treat it. Because since we're starting to water it a little bit, dandelions and things are popping up, and he was like, "Don't worry about it, man. I'll just take care of it." And I was like, "No, we'll pay for it. No, I just want to help out, help the kids out. I'll get it done by the end of the weekend." So it's just great to have partners like that in the city of London, businesses that are willing to step up and help out. So I just wanted to publicly thank Jeff Matheson and Madison Lawn Care for that. And not only being a great partner with the recreation department in the city, but just the community as a whole. So it's a pretty cool fact. Like we're talking about, the Youth Grass Volleyball League is currently taking registrations. The league will start on Tuesday, September 1st. They'll be having registration day this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot behind the community center. We're excited to be able to have the league this year with everything going on. Giving the youth things to do during the pandemic has been a major focus for us, and we'll continue with this league. Please make sure to help us get the word out on the league. I know the papers have ran an article on it. We're sharing Facebook posts. If you guys can share those posts for us. If you see somebody that maybe had played in the league before, or somebody with a child from K through 8, maybe mention to them that we're running these leagues. I want to thank the Recreation Department for thinking out of the box and their hard work on this endeavor. I also want to thank the Sewer Department. So everyone's grass is pretty crunchy right now, as you guys know, because of the lack of rain. So we spoke to the Sewer Department about bringing the back truck out and spraying it with water. So we didn't tie up the fire department of trying to spray it with water. So we're using recycled water, which, no, it's not sewer water. So you don't think you're gonna walk out there and step in something, but it's recycled water that has nitrates in it. So something that would go to waste anyway, we're bringing out here, the Sewer Department has to bring the back truck out. We want to do it twice a week. They've already started to spray out the whole field so we can get it lush and have it start growing a little bit more, to make it a lot more hardy, so when these kids start running around on it, don't just wear it down in dirt, and we can keep grass underneath their feet. Tammy did go and get all the mounts cut today at Creamer, and they will be starting to put the mounts and the nets in tomorrow and Saturday as they take registrations. School starts on Monday, and as we know, things will look a little bit different. So I was able to attend the London City Schools new teacher orientation and help with a bus tour they had around London, just kind of get the new teachers, let them know about London, where things are, and different things like that. So they got a great crew coming in that'll access the wonderful staff that they already have in place. So, but I do want to wish London City Schools, St. Patrick's, Fairhaven, and Tolles the best of luck as they begin the new school year. I do want to applaud them for all the hard work that's gone in to get the school year ready. I've met with London City Schools quite a few times about their restart plans and talked to them, and this was quite an undertaking for them to try to get everything figured out to keep the kids safe, and as you guys know, keep the citizens happy, right? So they're doing all they can. So to all the teachers in the classroom and the quote-unquote new teachers, which are the parents at home, teaching remotely, appreciate all you guys do, and best of luck on the school year. We met with Madison County Engineer Brian Bill about the next round of Ohio Public Works Commission funding. After your initial talk, I've decided I want to host another Madison County Mayor's Committee meeting on Monday, August 31st. We will be discussing the OPWC funding for the next couple rounds, and also just checking in on other communities. As you guys know, I formed the NCMC when I first became mayor to give all the larger communities of Madison County the opportunity to work together. So we talk about funding, grants, shared services, events, and how we can help each other to improve Madison County as a whole. So it's worked out real well. That committee has done a lot of things. Big thing is that we're in contact with each other, helping each other out, and then shared services is a huge thing. So, for example, we might use Mount Sherman's cameras for the sewer system. We partnered with West Jefferson to spray the mosquitoes this year. Different things like that. When they need something from us, we got things they don't have, and they have things we don't have. So, and then besides that, not fighting over funding and grants is a huge thing. You hear these horror stories about counties where these guys just go for each other's throat every year. So we've gotten onto a good cycle and a good relationship. So we make sure that we prioritize projects and give those projects the extra points that we can give out to make sure that everyone's getting taken care of. Anthony did touch on this. I'll talk about a little bit for Facebook, but in the email I sent you guys about the water treatment plan, I met with Water Superintendent Rice, a representative from the EPA. They finished the installment of the equipment for the test pilot program, remove ammonia from the water. The equipment will run 24/7, and after about 30 or 40 days, we hope to have some solid data on the removal. We'll be sending nine samples of water to the EPA every Tuesday, 3 samples from the untreated water, 3 samples from the contactor phase, and 3 from the end result water. This process is as follows. The untreated water is pumped into a tube section that's filled with rocks, which are called the contactors. So phosphate is introduced in the step where the bacteria grows. It's sent to the second tube where the water treatment filter consists of sand and anthracite, and then the water drains into the holding tank in the back. So it's very exciting, and hopefully we're looking for great results. So I do want to thank the EPA and everyone who has helped out with this and got this thing moving. Brenda talked about this, but I did email the Madison County Budget Commission about CARES Act funding with some questions. I've been in contact with high-ranking national government officials about CARES Act funding to get more information. During these conversations, the point was made that they're looking to amend the CARES Act so the local governments can use the funds for budget shortfalls, and that they're also looking to add that language into the new CARES Act if they can ever get that passed. With local municipalities and villages relying mainly on income tax revenues to run their communities, these dollars can really help. Seeing as we do not have sales tax, we don't have high property tax or other forms of revenue like casino money, 911 funding, and license plate taxes. So the economists are forecasting that some cities and municipalities could lose 10 to 30%, or see a 10 to 30% reduction in income tax collections due to the pandemic. So Madison County has been given $1,066,259.41 in CARES Act funding. That's the total amount they were given. When I found out that London was getting under $100,000 out of over $1 million, I looked into where the percentage shares came from. After educating myself, I found out that CARES Act funding was being distributed using the local government funding percentages. I then wanted to know who set up the local government funding percentages, and found out that the Madison County Budget Commission sets these percentages up, and they set them up in 1981. I believe that these local government funding percentages set up almost 40 years ago need to be looked at immediately. These are unprecedented times, and there will be a huge economic impact on everyone. So, with London being almost 25% of the population of Madison County and receiving under 10% of the CARES Act funding and future local government funding, which we get every year, through Madison County as it funnels down, I think it's unacceptable. So, I have emailed many people with the county and the Madison County Budget Commission, which consists of the prosecutor, the county prosecutor, the county treasurer, and the county auditor. So those are the three people who set up those percentages. And those people didn't set them up in 1981. But for us to still be going on a formula that's 40 years old is unbelievable with the growth that we've seen, while other areas of the county have not grown or have lost growth. So, Brenda did ask a question about the percentages. So we get 9.2%. That's what we get for the county. So when the county gets local government funding or they get CARES Act funding, they get 50% of it. So the county who set up this percentages gets 50% right off the top. And then they really don't break it down by anything else, they just have percentages. So you're talking about all the other townships, the small townships get at least 1%. So if they're getting 1% to fix their road through local government funding, and the county's getting 50% to fix roads in the county, 6.5 dozen, in my book, I don't know. So I'm in contact with them, trying to get things figured out. We'll see what happens. I'll talk about this at the mayor's committee meeting. I've kept them in the loop on it too. And hopefully we can get something figured out where we can get what I believe should be our fair share of this. Now on to a fun fact, which is number 3. That is a young boy named Draven. It's his age, and he lives here in London. So for the past 8 months, he's been in the hospital battling brain cancer, and by the grace of God has beaten. He was able to come home yesterday after all those long months, and was able to come home to a nice welcoming of police, fire, and EMS sirens and lights in front of his house, which is just an awesome way to welcome him back to town. So I want to welcome Draven home, wish him the best of luck, and his family the best of luck in the future. But 3 years old with brain cancer, man, it's just not right. But God bless him, and I'm so happy that he's able to be there. So, anyone have any questions for me? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, on to our old business ready for the third reading. Ordinance 15820. Motion to read by title only.
So moved.
Ordinance 15820, sponsored by Brenda Russell, recommending 881.08 of codified ordinance.
I think we all know this is the ordinance that's going to present the 0.5% full tax credit that goes to those people and into another municipality. And we keep in mind that this 0.5% funds our party code. And currently, the way it is now, anybody moving in that works out of town pays to another municipality will not get this credit. And we have to be sure that our safety services and public services are funded. When I first got on the council, I wanted to know what the 10-year plan was, what the 20-year plan was, and even the 50-year plan. Well, there was no plan. And I just found that unacceptable. How can you run a government when there's no 10-year, 25-year, 50-year plan? Because there has to be a plan, because we have to know how to fund for that increase. And I just found that it was very, one of the downfalls, that there was not some goals set, some planning set for the future years, future growth. And so I feel unfair. Is this unfair? No, it's a service that everybody receives 24/7. They receive it whether we're here or whether we're in Columbus. I pay it, you pay it, everybody everybody should pay for that service. Unfortunately, those paying to another municipality, I think Columbus should give you credit. Personally, I think Columbus should give you credit. We tried years and years ago to go for Columbus to get the credit. They said no. So I believe that. I saw a couple emails, I thought we, the council, should petition the city, the Columbus, the other cities, but that's not our job. That's not our job. It's not what we're elected to go do those things. Our job is to make sure the finances and the legislation, the laws, that's our job. And so I think this is very much needed to ensure that we will have future funding for our life. Any other questions?
I just wanted to add to it. So when we did take over fire and EMS as a city, Britain tacked on it was we saved 3 mills. So when we first started doing it, they already saved 1.4 mills when the 0.5 tax rate was put into it. So if you look at it, 1 mill equals $35 per $100,000 property valuation. So we have saved, with taking the fire and EMS, we've saved the citizens $154 per $100,000 property valuation. So when you look at it and we're trying to fund the services, we have saved money by taking over the service. So it's not like there wasn't a savings and it's just an add-on. We've saved it by taking over the service. Now we need to make sure it's funded to be successful. So that little tidbit, we've saved 4.4 mils, which is $154 per $100,000. So everyone can do their math on their own property and see how much they're actually saving on their property taxes each year. So that's another tidbit that we should let everyone know is that you had a savings when we did take it over. So.
And also too, we had former Councilman Rex Castle, he did speak to this as well. Carla, she had some issues initially with the legislation itself. Is there any other?
The Carla's on finance, and all 3 finance agreed.
Yeah, initially she did not agree, and then after she thought about it, she later, initially she had some issues with it from the beginning, but then she changed her mind after she thought maybe the fairness of it, because they're still being covered, even if they're not here in the city, they still receive those services and everything after she took that into consideration. Is there anyone have any other questions on this or anything?
I make a motion to adopt.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt. Do we have a second? And a second. Clerk, could you please take the roll?
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Pitt.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. One for our second reading, ordinance 15920, a motion to read by title and number.
Second.
Clerk, could you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 15920, sponsored by Rich Hayes, and ordinance vacating an alley.
Yes, this is vacating an alley beside and behind 157 North Oak Street. All owners have signed off as to their approval. BOBU superintendent, city have signed off. Will need a public hearing.
All right, that's set for public hearing on September 17th.
September 17th.
That's our second reading. All right, on to new business. Ordinance 16320, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
All right, any second. Clerk, could you please read the ordinance?
Ordinance 16320, sponsored by Rich Hayes, and ordinance vacating an alley.
Yes, this is a request to vacate an alley that is situated between 56 and 60 Logan Avenue. All owners whose property have left the alley have signed off for their approval. There are no sewers. City engineer has reserved these rights, though, as far as Ohio is. They must maintain their existing facilities within that alley. I assume that means power lines, but everything else is signed off on.
Is that all that we have for that?
That's
Okay, we will have that one scheduled for public hearing on October 1st. At least 30 days out for that one. All right, on to resolution 16420, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
A second, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16420, sponsored by Anthony Smith, and resolution increasing appropriations.
This year, it's pretty simple, just like it says, water department, they have several accounts of security deposits, that are due back to the customers. I'd like to see it suspended. If anyone has any questions, I'd like to see their money back as quickly as possible. The money's there, we just need to get it to our citizens.
So we owe $50,000. How far back is that date?
I don't know that. Yeah, if they came to me and said, hey, we got a lot of money, we can get it back.
So I'd imagine too, with the new accounting that's going on, they're kind of finding a.
I think it does go back well into 2019, which you have to remember correctly, they didn't pay anything until 2019 was completely reconciled.
I don't know the year, but it's like, it goes back a little bit, it's like 16 grand altogether. And it goes back a little while, yeah, it's not just 1 year, this was before Carol even took over.
Well, we're talking about $50,000.
Oh, you guys already?
Yeah, this is 16420.
For security deposit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, 160. I got you. 16320. We missed that.
Wait a minute, no, 163 is vacating an alley, 164 is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Water
163.
security deposit.
You did 163.
Yeah, 16420. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 50,000.
50,000.
Yeah.
It says 50,000.
That's what they want to put in there to cover deposit. To cover the future ones too.
So they're just going to pay
the
us
future
$50,000.
There's back in future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
So the
want
16
future
is-
too. She didn't tell me that.
So the 16 is the past, but then they also want to cover the future.
Because there's going to be more coming up.
Okay. Now that we didn't have before on that.
Yeah. I apologize.
Because every time somebody's news comes, a new one comes up that it paid that deposit, we need to have that money in there to pay it back.
Oh,
So
Okay.
there's back ones we haven't paid. and
Okay, I got you.
That we will have to pay.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Those would say 50,000.
I was told it was a lot, I was shocked at 50, but.
Okay.
You have to put it in that line. That's what, there's none appropriate. So you're appropriating, so they won't have to come back and ask for it.
Well, if we're appropriating just the future amount, then we need to suspend and pass it.
Well, you
To
want
get
to
the
pay
16.
there's several that are several years old. So they'd like to pay.
And that's covered in what, under the 16,000, the ones that they need to pay already, and the rest would be to pay ahead for the new ones we're going to get. So
When they
we
come
don't
up.
have
So
to
the money's
come
in
back
the
and reappropriate again later.
Right, we're just putting the money in the line.
Is everyone clear on that?
So we don't have a line item for security deposits.
No, you do, but there's no money. So you have to appropriate the money in the line so they can pay the refunds.
Why doesn't it just go into its own line and then we don't even have to mess with it?
It just has to be appropriated.
Yeah.
Just know
Well,
what
once you do this, that's what we're trying to.
do
Yeah,
so
trying to-
that.
Yeah.
Now, is there usually money in that line, or there isn't?
But whatever gets appropriated.
During budget.
Yeah.
So what they've been doing is just appropriating and then paying. If they have so much in there, then they won't have to keep coming.
They've not been doing that, that's been the.
Well,
That's the problem.
yeah.
And then they just come and ask for an appropriation when they need to pay something back.
No, they just make the expenditure.
Yeah.
When it's in the line.
Right.
When you guys put it in the line, then they can just.
Yes, it's in the line, but if it's not, then they have to come ask for money and then.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was skipping the budget for many years.
Yeah.
Through the BPU side of the budget. You know how they did their side of the budget.
so what it is there's this line here, and no money's ever put in.
For the past few
For
years.
the past few years, and now that they ran into these back bills that we can pay, we need to appropriate some money into this 650, 500, 550. final bill payments there, so that we can cover it. And there's $16,000 we need now, but we want to put some in there so that they don't have to keep coming back and asking.
From here on out, deposits will go in.
Correct, and when we do the budget this year, there'll be money in that line.
So the deposits, as they pay it, they'll go into
They
that.
go into
account?
No, they go into their fund, just like if, somebody pays for volleyball, we don't just put it into Tammy's line,
No.
right? We just put it into the general. Well, if
Yes.
somebody pays their water, it goes into the water's quote-unquote general fund, right? And then we put it into the budget.
So no matter what, eventually, we'll have to do the exact same thing. This
Yeah,
just
so
gives
it'll go into
it
the general,
time.
then we'll just have to-
Yeah, it lets us fix it for this year so we can do the budget right on this line item for 2021. That's all it is.
Any further questions on that?
No, I just sure hope that these little funds that we're supposed to be putting money into, that we haven't been putting money into, we can get money budgeted when we do the budget, so that we don't have to do this.
Right.
So somebody taking pretty good notes to keep in mind, who those funds, we don't have to keep backtracking. We don't have to keep backtracking.
If no one else has any questions, I'll make a motion to suspend the third reading.
I say,
All right. Clerk, please state the call.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Laser. Smith. Russell.
yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a
Motion to adopt. Okay.
We'll see people.
Second. All right. Clerk, please take roll call.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Motion carries. On to resolution 16520. Motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16520, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution increasing appropriations.
She's just here for questions if you
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, and this one is pretty straightforward. We've received the money from Merchants Bank. We just need to, now that we've received it, we need to appropriate it so we can purchase the trucks. I would like to suspend this free reading rule, that way when these trucks come in, that money's there. We don't hold anything up from us getting the trucks. So, but that's all it is, it's money directly from the merchants, from the loan we've already received.
So, you made a motion, you got a second?
Second.
That's a suspend.
Right, to suspend. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Hicks.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, first and second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Resolution 16620, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16620, sponsored by Bernie Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is, the fire department pension is $50,000 short, and we need to appropriate $50,000 so that the total will be $200,000. And it's going to go from Fund 228 to 239. He's going to take it out of 228 and put it in 239. Correct, Ken?
Yes.
Okay?
Question?
239 is the pension.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 150,000 on in the 228 funds currently, so we want to increase it to 50,000 and then move the entire 200 to the 228.
Any further questions?
I would like to suspend the three reading rule.
A motion and a second for that.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. On to Resolution 16720, motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
And a second. Second. All right, Mr. Robinson, second. Clerk, could you please read the resolution?
Resolution 16720, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is an appropriation, there was not enough money appropriated to pay for the treasurer's overruns. It came out $400 short, and this $400 will need to come out of general.
Correct.
Okay?
Okay, what are your wishes?
I'd like to suspend rereading rule on that.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
On to Resolution 16820, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16820, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, here again, we have not enough money appropriated to pay the civil services overruns. And it looks like it's $580, and that also will come out of general.
So $580, and what are your wishes?
I'd like to suspend rereading rule on that.
Get a second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Motion carries. On to Resolution 16920, motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
And a second by Mr. Robinson. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16920, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this one, can we have to explain this one? I still can't. It's the error in the expense line.
Correct.
Okay, for $11.41, so I couldn't grasp that.
Yeah, it was just paid off the wrong expense line.
It was paid out of the wrong fund line,
Just the expense line.
it just expense line, and so it's, we need to put that money back in, the $11.41 for that. Okay, I'd like to suspend the rereading rule on that.
Second.
Okay, clerk, please take the roll call.
Russell? Yes. Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Okay.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
On to Resolution 17020, motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17020, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This here is the payment for the street department skid loader, and it didn't get paid.
It's paid, the fund is in there.
Okay, it's paid, but the fund that came out of this day, so we need to go to the general, pull out 46488 to make the fund able to cover. We need to suspend it, we need to remove that.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hayes. Please take the roll call.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Second, all right. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes?
Yes.
Pitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Motion carries. On to Resolution 17120, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17120, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is our CARES Act money, 98,587, and we need to make appropriations so we can spend this. Let's spend this. We don't want to give it back, we don't want to give it back, we want to spend this. We need to suspend the approval of this one also.
Second.
Second, clerk, please take the roll call.
Pitts?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Make a motion.
To adopt.
I'll second.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, on to Resolution 17220, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17220, sponsored by Carl Blazer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, I'll do this one too.
Okay.
Okay, this is $279,000, which will come out of our capital money, and it's going to do some, finish up remodeling of this building and some remodeling, some maintenance for parking lots, city parking lots. And there's a parking lot over there by Blue Church, back there in that parking lot, went out by the swimming pool. And Joe's brought this to us so that he can just redo the things that they need here at the city hall. Let me read a few of these. They want to fix the sound system up there so that once, all they need to do is flip a button and it's on. And they want some signage for our building. I think people need to know that this is a municipal building. We've got the concrete there, we just don't have the sign. We need a new stage curtain. They want to redo the kitchen. They want to put cameras on the boiler building, lights around the boiler building for security, repair damage, the deteriorated concrete that's in between the wall of the building. Okay. They want to repaint the gray window panels, tables and chairs, lights around the building. Just a lot of things that they want to get done to this building and our city property. And that will leave us $200,000 left in the capital. We've been really, really good at, the other departments have been really good at purchasing things. And so, and I for one, when I got on council, I thought we should have this thing done a long time. It's cost us 4 times as much because the way we procrastinated, waited so long. So finance agreed that this would be good because, and I think there's an emergency. So there's an emergency policy, so we suspended.
You said there is?
There is
On the original.
On the original.
Okay, I think it's suspended re-reading.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Russell?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Okay. And a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
Can we get a second? Second by Mr. Robinson. Okay.
Peters?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Hayes?
Yes.
Hitt?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
On to Resolution 17320, motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17320, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Okay, this is our OP WC refund, that reimbursement we got. We need to move it into the appropriate improvement street fund. It's a reimbursement for our avenue. Some general. I need to suspend that.
That's an emergency too.
No, it's not, it's going to be just suspended, three reading bids, just walking in the money, we already got it, but we need to put it over here, into the property.
So do we need to amend it to add emergency clause?
No, we're just going to, suspend it, three reading.
Okay.
Second.
And clerk, please take the roll call.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Pitt.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Okay, clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes.
Yes.
Pitt.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Resolution 17420, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17420, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution authorizing other warrant payment.
Okay, that's, it's time to make a payment to Kirk County Boulevard to BB&T, it's 21-94501, and I believe it's got emergency clause on it. Okay, so, haven't paid the bill. So we need to suspend it, we're doing that.
Do we have any questions on this? All right, so we have a motion to suspend. A second. Clerk, would you please take the roll call?
Pitt.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
Move it on.
Second. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Pitt.
Yes.
Motion carries. On to roundtable. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Again, you know, we'd like to thank the federal EPA and administration, Councilman Comer, everything that we were able to do with the water test we've done, hopefully we'll have results. And with those results, that's going to give us a good idea, you know, how to get that thing up and going. Everyone's been working really hard, before they've been working on everything. Just trying to make as much forward progression as we can, so I think that also, that's all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Daly.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the street department for the work on Park Avenue, it looks real nice. And also council's part in that administration. Also, I'd like to applaud the acquiring of the trash trucks. That's quick, so that'll be nice to have. Appreciate the Anthony's work on that, and the people. Thank you everyone for attending. And the next safety service committee meeting is September 8th at 6 p.m. here.
Mr. Davis.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank all the city departments, police department, fire department, street department, water department, sewers, everything. You guys are doing a great job. Appreciate you very much. I'm going to say something here. Praise the Lord, that little boy is just cancer-free. I know you're not supposed to say that.
Amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
And
Yes.
amen. I'm just thanking Mayor for letting us know about that. That's good. Thank you all. Doing a great job. I appreciate you all. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Just a reminder, public services is September 9th at 1 p.m.
All right, and Mr. Peters.
I just want to thank Nick and Frank's coming out tonight, addressing us.
All right, Mrs. Russell.
I just want to thank you again, representatives, administration for working for this trash center. I tell you guys how this guy in the world, smiling, picking up trash.
They're reds too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are reds. They're only pretty, I don't know how cool a trash truck is.
Oh, it'd be cool.
They look good.
They look good. It's good. And just a reminder that our next finance meeting will be September 14th.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank Nick Atkins for coming and expressing his just what his thoughts are on his candidacy. He has put a lot of work into the city and into his, and a lot of us already know him because of the relationships he's created. And good to see Grace Castle, and just like to thank everybody for all their parts in all of the different facets of what the city needs to operate. Everybody, I think, is doing a really good job, and it's good to see everyone working together to keep things moving and to get things rolling. Any other input? All right. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.